The Kevin Long Show is a production of Southgate Media Group. You can find us at www.southgatemediagroup.com. The music is The Entertainer by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Royalty-free music as long as you give the dude his props. However, there is a legal disclosure in the show notes giving us proper permission to use this music. The Kevin Long Show is sponsored by Tweaked Audio. Do you know a podcast fan? For totally awesome headphones, free shipping, and 30% off, head over to tweakedaudio.com and enter the coupon code Southgate. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com. All right, it's that time of the week again. Time for the Kevin Long Show. And I'm your host, Kevin Long. Wow, it's been a week. I am glad that I'm trying to be consistent again. Took a while off, and now we're back, and we should be getting things going again. I have 2 things sitting in my inbox at thekevinlongshow@gmail.com that I need to go through. Some people on Twitter have hooked me up with their products, so I'm going to review those. In fact, they're coming out in October. When in October, I don't know. I'm really hoping that the next show will be me and Martha Southgate talking about her experience playing D&D. I'm really hoping that's the next show, but it might be one of the 2 products that I've gotten. We're gonna get to the B2 review. We're gonna do that. It's still coming. I've got other stuff I need to do. We're getting there. We're getting there. And with getting there comes the business part of this show. And I will be honest with you, I'm debating doing the business section because I'm not sure doing the business section and my 30-day challenge will be effective. I'm going to pick one or the other because the 30-day challenge would be like, let's say for October, the 30-day challenge would be, hey, did you know that the Kevin Long Show has a coffee account? Go to coffee.com. You get the idea, because that's what the business is. The business is, hey, don't forget to tell your friends about the show if you like it. And if you don't like the show, tell your enemies. That's number 1 on the business list, and that's the 30-day challenge right now. And then I tell you about the coffee account or the TeePublic account where you can get totally awesome shirts. One has the Kevin Long Show logo on it. The other one has a logo for the Swamp and Magic Monday. I know I need to get more shirts out, but if you don't want a shirt, buy a notebook for all your D&D note-taking, or your Vampire Masquerade taking, or your L5R note-taking. You get the idea. So I put the business section in the show notes, but I'm really wondering if the business and the 30-day challenge or the 30-day call to action shouldn't be the same thing. That's what I'm thinking. If you have an opinion on whether the business should be a thing or it should not be a thing, hit me up in thekevinlongshow@gmail.com. Tell me what you think, because I want to know what you guys think. I really want to get buffers between each section. That's something I'm working on, because next comes the spotlight. There is this dude on YouTube. The YouTube channel is called Questwise, and his drive-through RPG store is called Questwise Productions. It's amazing. This is why it's the spotlight this week. He reviews everything. Like, the review I just watched was about a Skeletor toy, and that's cool. And this is why I need buffers or to read my show notes, because before I did the spotlight, I was supposed to do the news. There's not a lot. There's just one thing from Wizards that was about, I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. But I do know that the Hasbro news is that they're making a Disney villain edition of Monopoly. And that's kind of cool, I guess, because I don't know. Isn't the idea of Monopoly being the villain? Especially because in this edition they encourage you to cheat and steal and whatever. But I feel like that's what Monopoly already is. Don't get me wrong, I love Monopoly. I love that game. But there is very much a cutthroat attitude to that game. So, I mean, throwing Disney villains on the cover is fine, but the fact that it would encourage to do things that people are probably already doing doesn't make sense to me. This week's topic is kind of something that I've been struggling with for a while. When I was in college getting my degree so I could podcast and play video games all day, well, not video games, but play games all day, Kickstarter was just starting to come out. And I wrote a lot of papers in my business degree about how I felt that Kickstarter could be the new way that people seek investment funds. Instead of going to an investor or a bank and saying, here's my business idea, and then being denied, people could go to Kickstarter and say, hey fam, here's my idea, support me. And we would throw in our money and support them. I still very much believe that to be true. Like, there is a lot of opportunity for people on Kickstarter. Here's the problem that I have with Kickstarter, and it's starting to become a thing with me on Patreon, because there is a game store in Utah that has a Patreon. They're not creating things, they're just giving you discounts in their store if you pay for their Patreon. And I have an issue with that. Here's the issue I have with Kickstarter. And I'm not saying Kickstarter is bad. Southgate Media Group has a show called Go Fund This that is all about people that are doing their Kickstarters. And I guess this is where the line comes. GoFundMe is about people doing their Kickstarts. And that's what I want to say. We should be supporting people doing their Kickstarters. Whatever it is. And the idea that they're asking for way more money because they just want to retire and not have to work anymore, there's nothing wrong with that. I hate this idea that I hear people all the time being like, oh, it's not going to cost that much money to do this project. They just don't want to work anymore. Isn't that the American dream? To not have to work for Walmart anymore? Or Target? Or whatever big corporation you're working at? We need to be supporting people. That's what I think. Instead of these companies that are doing a Kickstarter every 6 months, because apparently without Kickstarter they would go out of business. I'm looking at you, Reaper and Troll Lord Games. Like, I like your products, but like, how many years has it been since Bones 4 came out and you still can't go to the website and get Baba Yaga's hut or the giant pirate ship? Or why does not Goodman Games, well, they do it too, like Goodman Games and Troll Lord Games, you're a business and people are buying your product. Why can't you afford to make a new product? Especially Troll Lord Games, they're about to launch a Kickstarter, if they already haven't, for the 8th printing of the Player's Handbook and the Castle Keeper Guide. It's not a new edition. They're just editing something they already have. So why do they need to do a Kickstarter? You edit it, you open the file, you edit it, you slap it on a print on demand, and you give it to the people. If you want to make solid books that game stores can have, great, go for it. However, I don't see a lot of Troll Lord Games products in my game store. It's all go to their website and buy it. Well, if that's the case, they don't need to be doing a Kickstarter for an 8th printing. Now, if it was a new edition, I might be able to understand more. But it's just edits maybe some different art, and I don't see why we need to be doing a Kickstarter for it. Especially with print on demand. Man, that was a rant. And I'm sure it's gonna piss people off. But you know what? It's my show. If you don't like it, tell your enemies. They can come listen to me rant about Kickstarter. I just don't... We gotta do better at supporting our friends and neighbors. Instead of people that we don't know. And look at the reasons why they're doing it. Like, you know, it's the same principle. I support Patreon and the creators that are there. But like, why and who? Why and who are things we need to be thinking about when we sign up for Kickstarter or Patreon or whatever crowdfunding platform we're on. That's my rant this week. So for me, myself, and I, mahalo, and have a great day. Again, thank you for listening to The Kevin Long Show. You can find the website southgatemediagroup.com at southgatemediagroup.com. You can find us on Facebook at The Kevin Long Show. You can find us on Twitter at The Kevin Long SH1, or you can just email us at thekevinlongshow@gmail.com.